All right, guys, here we are, Thursday morning, and we're figuring out what to do for this week. I had an interesting question I wanted to address. This is the Fantasy Football Astrology channel. Welcome to the channel here, guys. And so we're talking about Curtis Samuel. Okay, we know McCaffrey's out, and so all of a sudden, Curtis Samuel is starting to look like he could get a lot more looks in the running game. Okay, and so I just watched the game, and here's the thing. If he's going to be productive, it's going to have to be through the running game, right? His astrology with Bridgewater is really bad, right? It's Leo. He's a Leo, fixed fire, and Bridgewater is a fixed water sign. Bridgewater is a fixed water sign, okay? So those two, that's probably a worse match than him with DJ Moore, right? And so we already know DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson have been getting all the looks this season. He actually threw a pick targeting DJ Moore towards the end of that game, so maybe he'll be a little less likely to pull the trigger. I know I've recommended earlier in the year to trade DJ Moore based on the astrology. Bridgewater has excellent astrology with Robbie Anderson, and we're seeing it show up. Anderson is a fixed earth sign, and Bridgewater is a fixed water, so they're polar opposites. They attract like magnets, and we're seeing this already on the football field. So from a receiver standpoint, Curtis Samuel is a really bad option. But here's an intriguing aspect. Matt Rule is an Aquarius, right? And so Curtis Samuel is a Leo. Those are polar opposites, right? And so I love when this happens. Matt Rule came out and he said, I want to see Curtis Samuel have the ball more. Well, I wonder why that is, right? Curtis Samuel's a dynamic playmaker, sure, but they're also polar opposites. So they attract like magnets, okay? So if Curtis Samuel gets a lot of looks, as a running back, he's going to be a really good option. So he's a really good wait-and-see kind of pick. If you have room for him on your roster, I would do that. Okay, all right. So moving on, I had another question, and it was asking, should I trade Zach Ertz for Hayden Hurst? Okay, and this is a trade I would absolutely do this trade. Okay. I would probably play with the trade more to see if you could even get more out of Ertz because he's just such a big name and he's been doing it for so long. I would probably try to get more, but I do think Hayden Hurst is just going to be a better option this year straight out. Looking at the astrology, Hurst is a Leo, Matt Ryan is a Taurus, so that works pretty well. And Ertz is a Libra, and Wentz is a Capricorn. So that's not a good match, right? That's earth and air. Those don't mix very well. So I would pull the trigger on that trade. Of course, you want to look at the trade limit on your league. I always encourage that because you're probably not getting a lot with this trade, right? And so my league has a trade limit of 2. You can only do 2 trades a year, which I really don't like that part of my league, but that's the way it is. And so I've already made 1 trade this year, and now I'm saving that final trade spot for maybe a move of desperation. If something happens, bad injuries occur. I've got the tight end position stacked with Kelsey and Gesicki. And so I'm ready to, if one of my players goes down and I'm out, I'm ready to swing Kelsey out of there maybe for a really nice replacement player. So I just am cautioning people to just pay attention to how many trades you have. Stack the tight end position. It seems to be a pretty good position to stack this year. You can get a lot of guys probably still on your league. And I want to talk more about that. I think there's Logan Thomas is an interesting player. Obviously, there's like Ali Cox is still out there, and you got Schwartz, who just went off for like 10 targets in the game. And so there's a lot of guys at tight end. And so to trade for an Ertz, or trade for Hurst with Ertz, yeah, I think you're getting a better value out of Hurst this year, but I don't think it's so much that you can't get a great player off the waivers. And if you have a, like I said, if you have a limit with the trade amount you can do, then I would probably save it for a more juicy, more affecting trade. So those are just my thoughts there and the questions I got. Keep them rolling in. I love to do the question and answer, and appreciate you guys. Cheers.